No quirky intro this time, boys. What's up, guys? Funari Lover 47 here. Welcome to Watching for the Plot. What I essentially do is troll to the catacombs of the darkest parts of the internet to find animated erotic videos and then criticize them on the internet because no one else wants to hear me talk about it in the real world. But if you do, subscribe for more. Episode 1. So this show is about a man fighting his inner demons and a woman who thinks she's in love with that man, and by the end we found out she is. I'm being as vague as I possibly can be because if I give any more hints than that, then it's gonna ruin everything. We start off with Sanshiro painting a picture and Momoyo coming to tell him they have to go. And come to find out that the picture he was painting was just Momoyo naked. So this man clearly has only one goal in life. And while outside with the love of his life, they are attacked by a crow that was sent by Kanago here, who won't come up until later on in this episode. And now is the point where I tell you that the reason Sanshiro got smacked up here is because he's a butler to some rich dictator who wants full control of everything around him. Not literally a dictator, but like a rich guy who acts like a dictator, you know what I mean? When he found out that his daughter was almost attacked by a rabid crow, he had to put his worker in place, obviously. After this, we find Sanshiro just in a daze, and while he was stuck in that fog, a fellow co-worker, aka a maid named Tamao, comes to try and ease his pain, and right when he comes to and sees the maid trying to moisten the salami, Jesus Christ, he immediately retracts because he must preserve himself for Momoyo. Speaking of Momoyo, her fiance is back in town. There's a lot going on right now. It's very fast paced. I know, it's extremely fast paced. This is amazing. And while back in town, from traveling to Europe, he's greeting everyone in the house, just having a blast. My man is dropping massive one-liners, swooning Momoyo, and increasing the vibes exponentially. And around the corner, our boy Sanshiro here is just boiling with rage because he can't get into any of that action. He's just a lowly butler. So while the vibes, like I mentioned before, were at an all-time high, Yoichiro is just either socially unaware or just doesn't care because this happened.
どうした?
見せなさい.
Did I mention Momo's sister is extremely horny for Yoichiro? So after that blood-sucking scene, Momo goes out to greet Sanshiro, who's spying yet again. This man, he's concerning me. After they have a cozy convo, Sanshiro decided that wasn't enough. He decides to go into the attic, which is strangely connected with every single room in the house, and peeps on her. Now, right when she's about to get naked, he decides to cover the hole and says she is too sacred to be seen naked. But she wasn't sacred enough for you not to peep on her. Right. So after that, he walks a few feet over, again in the attic that's connected to everyone's room, and he sees Momo's father punishing the maid Tamo who got her blood sucked. And his whole spiel in response to that is like, oh, you liked him, huh? Everyone does, god damn it. So that's kind of weird. And then he hears smacking the other direction. So he goes another few feet, again in the attic connected throughout the entire rooms. I don't know why it's built like that. And lo and behold, Yoichiro, again, Momo's fiance, is using a whip on Reiko, again, the horny one who happens to be Momo's sister. And at the sight of this, Sanshiro absolutely loses it. He starts to have an extremely piercing pain in the middle of his head, and then he wakes up in his bed. Now that's suspicious. Is my man a vampire too, just like Mr. Lichoshiro over here? Well, demon or not, he's absolutely insane, because that same morning he hears a scream and finds out that Reiko's body was hung up on the wall with a wedding dress, and his first response to seeing a dead person that he knew was, wow, that's some beautiful art. My man, are you actually psychotic? Would you not be surprised at all if he did this? I mean, his name is Sans. Like, so logically, instead of calling the cops, because why would you do that? There's only a dead body in your house. It's no biggie. The father and Yoichiro decide to take care of it themselves because it would delay the wedding, which has been pushed sooner because of the said murder. And to get Momo to agree with it as well because, well, Yoichiro hypnotizes her. So either he's a vampire or a really persuasive blood fetish freak. Obviously, Sanshiro was watching that happen. Obviously, would be surprised if he wasn't. And after seeing that, he has another panic attack and dips out of the house. And once he's outside, he's greeted by Kanago, the girl I mentioned earlier. And the reason her crow went and attacked Momo was because she was off guard. I have no idea what that means, but the general message we're supposed to get from this entire conversation is that Monako was protecting Sanshiro. From who exactly? So after that, they decide to follow Yoichiro because they think he's the prime suspect. And come to find out, my man went to immediately purchase a prostitute after seeing the woman he just had sex with die. So the chances of him actually killing her are pretty high. And when this ragtag duo pull up and confront Yoichiro in the midst of that action, come to find out he's being choked by a prostitute who was a demon that looks eerily similar to our girl Momoyo. But is it really her? Let's find out with episode 2. This ending is kind of wholesome, folks. It really is. Konaga was right. The Momo clone was exactly that. A Momo clone. There were a demon and Konaga was putting up a fight but got bested. And while she was getting beat down, Sanshiro was hallucinating. What exactly? Oh, just envisioning Demon Momo, who might as well be the real one, having sex with Yoichiro and then killing him. Nothing much. After that, he comes to and sees the battered Konaga and decides to try to... In the process of that, she stops all that from happening, and they both fall unconscious. When they come to, she tells Sanshiro to get the hell out of here because, well, he tried to... Yes, I had to do it again. And on his way home, surprise, surprise, we find out that Yoichiro is dead. Now, of course, this completely throws my theory out of the window, no pun intended, of him being a vampire or some shit because he committed suicide out of a 12-story building. So now he's dead, but the demon is still running amok. Konaga just fought it, so obviously he's still here. And if Yoichiro wasn't a demon, then who is? And where did that demon come from? After hearing this news, Momo's father goes ballistic, again, pun intended here, because he shoots his shotgun out of the window while shit-faced drunk. I mean, he has an excuse, because two people who he was very close to just died within 24 hours of each other. Sanshiro confronts Momo and they plot to leave the mansion because it 100% has to be cursed, and there's no other way around it. Tamo, the maid, hears this and says, hey, I'll help you. She gives them Momo's wedding dress, train tickets, and sees them all. While on that train, Sanshiro is clearly fighting some demons, like I mentioned before. And I say this again because of this.
したくない。僕だけのものにしたい。できるなら、あのコガネムシのように瓶に閉じ込めてでも。まただ。
What in the hell? As they go into a tunnel, we flash to what seems like another one of Sanshiro's hallucinations, except it's not. It's real. And what it is him walking up to the altar to marry Momo in a decrepit, empty church building. And lo and behold, the pastor is actually Yoichiro. My man Sans obviously flips because Yoichiro is dead. He confirmed it. And that demon Yoichiro transforms into Sans, you know, like the demon would. So I wonder who this is. Maybe the demon. And conveys all of Sans' suspect thoughts, like the one he had just on the train, to his new bride. And once he does this, he immediately transforms for some reason. I guess when he took on Sans' skin, he must have also taken on his mindset and his Coomer brain, because if he didn't transform, he would be able to conceal himself for hundreds of years like he's been doing in the past. Konaga pulls up and eradicates the tentacle sex demon, places a charm on a rock, and explains everything in a brief summary here.
Mo, あのあやかしも出ることはない。本当にあいつは僕が生み出したものなのか。いや、あやつはかつて私が捕らえ損なった妖魔だ。そして時を超えて私への恨みを晴らすため、私の遠縁のもの、すなわち三四郎に取り付いて、そなたの欲望を餌に復活したのだ。なんだって。これで私の役目は終わった。
So yeah, 1. Sanshiro being a damn creep was the reason this sex beast was allergic to him in the first place, and 2. Konaga catching so many L's from that demon is quite insane. Come on, woman, if it takes you this long to do your job, then you might as well quit. After that, the couple I assume lives happily ever after. I say assume because it ends off with that speech and Konaga just dips. So yeah, that was pretty good. It was nice and short, another one for the books, and again, this one caught my eye, so I decided to full-fledged review it despite the length of the actual show and the video itself. I wanted to show you guys, because this was quite interesting. It is a roller coaster ride to say the least. Alright guys, I don't have an outro, but if I did, it wouldn't matter because no one makes it this far into the video. Good night.